Hello, everybody. So this is gonna be an update that's been a long time coming. I know I have a lot of people saying, when is this coming? It's coming now. So shortly after this video, it's gonna go live on Steam. But to give you the little video breakdown of what's in it, uh, we got a bunch of bosses, 5 bosses actually, 8 enemies, 70 cards, 1 class finally, fixed, 1 scene piece, bunch of new rules, 3 new Ember replacements, some new encounters, and hopefully a good time. So to start, I guess, let's look at the enemies. I haven't looked at the enemies before. I don't think I've unveiled the enemies yet. It's possible I have, but just bear with me. If you want, you can skip forward a little bit. So Basilisk, it deals curse. It's something I've been working on for literally ages. This is one of the first enemies I made, and I had no idea how to implement curse at the time. So I mean, there it is. It's the only enemy that does curse. So I mean, that's something that you really gotta watch out for, because I've written curse, as we can see here. You take 1 damage every turn until death. You cannot heal during the effect. Of course, once you finish the encounter, you get your health back, remove the curse token, and you're done. Moving on, Firebomb Hollow. It's kind of like the Crossbow Hollow, except you're looking at no damage, and this guy wants to get away from you before he attacks. So it's a little weird mechanically, but I think it works. All of these monsters that we have on screen right now, these 4 guys, let me just get rid of that for a second. These are all structured towards early game, so we're going to be seeing really low attack, some weird, why would you do that, and a lot of status effects, mainly poison. Being poisonous, or Undead Rat and or Vanguard Rat, pretty much the same enemy, just the difference of 1 health and 1 defense on the Vanguard. Sorry, 1 more health and 1 defense on the Vanguard Rat, and 1 extra damage, of course. I mean, not a huge difference. I think it's breaking the bank here. They're meant to be very, very weak enemies, and you're going to see a lot of rats in these encounters. There's 12 for easy and 12 for medium. They are integrated in with the Hollow Soldier and the Crossbow Hollow. So looking at Black Knights, it's just something strong, something along like large hollow to sentinel level. You're going to be fighting these guys at the end of the game. They're pretty strong for how I try to structure them. I hope they do pose a challenge, no matter how weird or terrible that is to say. And they come with 9 encounter cards. These are all only for like absolute end, I guess, kind of floor 4, if you want to do that. These are going to all be tied into the Soul Visitor boss fight, which we will get to soon enough. So we have these bosses, Champion Gundyr, I talked about him already. Pontiff Sullivan, I don't think I talked about. He is an endgame boss. His big thing is his Tyrant's Call, as I've named it. When you get him down to 0 health, he gets his health back, which is a pain. I am so sorry. But he gets his health back, and he gets his shadow. So he's a difficult boss. He's a really difficult boss, for that whole, get all his health back mechanic. His shadow is not too bad. His shadow is more of just like a behind the scenes nuisance that'll attack you every now and then. Shadow attacks, I mean, they're a little weak, but I mean, I'll let that to everyone to figure out, deem if Pontiff OP, please nerf. Pursuer, again, I talked about him in a previous previous video, the one that was 20 minutes long. Alright, that's weird. So not much new to say about him. He's working, it's nice. He's one of the more recent people I just finished. Royal Rat Authority, I know the model doesn't match the card, and I know that that is a rat and that's a dog. I tried my best. What are you gonna do, right? He also has a very interesting effect, which is summoning enemies. I mean, I felt like if I'm going to do it on anyone, it's just going to be the weaker boss. Royal Rat Authority is a very weak enemy very weak boss. I think it's the only boss that is custom with 1/1 defense. So I mean, he's very weak. You're going to be struggling with him. This is a guy that I made for people who are struggling with the game, or people who aren't super familiar with the game and just kind of want to figure things out while playing and having fun. So let's put him back. Last boss we have is the Solar Cinder. Solar Cinder is strong, really insanely strong, like 4th floor strong. I said that earlier. So he has a lot of things going on. He has different move sets. He has 2 heat ups. There's so much going on with him. He has a model that I didn't make a lot of compromises for, so again, I'm sorry for the issues with this guy's model, but I got him in the end. And I'm going to just take off the removal of the HUD right now so you could see that how many cards there are, because there are a whopping 41 on top of these two. And those are all behaviors. He is really tough, and he has a lot of attacks. So before we go on to, you know, how tough is the Solar Cinder, or, you know, how to play the Solar Cinder, I'm just going to go over other things I have. Humanity, Effigy, and Dark Sign, and, you know, I'm really just bolting past things at this point. Excuse me. Humanity and Effigy and the Dark Sign, they all function as a Ember would. Humanity, I believe, gives you a reduction of 1 stamina on attacks or spells. So I mean, it's pretty good. Minimum of 1 stamina it goes down to, so you cannot use it to remove costs on 1 stamina attacks, but it will go from 2 to 1 or 3 to 2 or 4 to 3. Effigy gives you a +1, just straight +1 to attacks. Physical also. Physical only. No, I didn't write physical only, so all attacks deal more extra damage. Dark Sign gives you like a host system. You don't get any buffs, but when you die, it doesn't result in a party wipe. And there's only 3 of these, because there's a host player. Host player needs to have a Humanity, an Ember, or an Effigy. If that player dies, it's a party wipe. However, Dark Sign players, they can do whatever. I should say that you could swap out from the Dark Sign at any time. You do not lose the Dark Sign, you keep it. That being said, you cannot go from an Ember to a Dark Sign unless one player doesn't have a Dark Sign and then they draw the Dark Sign. But that's a whole thing, you know, you gotta talk with your party about that. You could change the rules. I mean, I'm not picky. I'm not, you know, DMing your game or anything. So, I drew 10, I think. No, I drew a lot more than 10. I drew 14 cards here. This is from my stack of, amazingly, 70 cards. You know, try to get you excited, but it turns out to be a lot of cards I've already shown. So, that's a little underwhelming. So, yeah, you know, I'll just stack these back up. I'll throw them here. 68, plus these 2 over here. Bring us to exactly 70 cards. Pyromancer got an alt card, because I know some people really wanted an alt with the concept art. Here you go. Mercenary got a change. His Bloodthirsty now doesn't cost any additional stamina. This is just to promote people to play Mercenary. That's really it. There's a bunch of new rules. I wrote them as clearly as I thought I could. If there's any questions, you can message me on Reddit or Steam or really whatever. Rule card, this really just goes into explaining Dark Sign, Humanity, and Effigy. It's included with all this stuff on Steam. Also, we got barrels. Barrels for days, man. Look at that. Dark Souls, more like smash barrels, am I right? Oh yeah. Anyways, last thing I gotta show you is how to actually play Soul Ascender, because I don't have a, you know, like a hard little pamphlet or card saying this is how you play it. So let's say, you know, we had this moveset, which is going to be the Straight Sword. We drew 4 cards from, I think, the set of 6. We got these ones, and now we go from Sweeping, Piercing, Hollow, Hilted, and now we finally hit Swap. Now we hit Swap, and we do our little dice roll, and we get... We'll roll it, and we'll say, oh man, look at that, we got the magic one. So here's... Oh, whoops. Here's the magic deck. So we take these, group them back together, we'll put them with the other straight swords, and we'll deal out 4. Now Swap doesn't end his turn, Swap's only at the beginning of his turn. So we hit Swap, Swap always stays there, alright? That's his 5th card, it always stays his 5th card in Heat Up 1. Now we flip, and we'll say Crystal Soul Spear. Now we continue this for 1, 2, 3, 4 until we hit Swap, and then we roll again for his skill. And then we'll say it's Curved Sword, we'll find it. This goes on until you hit phase number 2. Now, everyone should know what phase number 2 is. If you don't, you probably haven't played Dark Souls 3, or you haven't got that far. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I hope it translated pretty well. So this is the content. I know I glossed over this really quick, especially in comparison with how I usually do it. I'm very proud of it. This took me an insanely long period of time to put together. I really hoped it goes well. I hope people really like this stuff. You know, I'm excited myself to play this against the Soul Ascender and all these other bosses. And honestly, you know, I just hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I put in time making it. Now, for a serious note, this is going to be the last bit of content I make for a very long time. Now, I have a whole bunch of personal reasons why. I'm not going to bore everyone with them, but I'm going to be focusing on other projects that I've been, you know, putting out for myself lately. So yeah, it's going to be the end to a considerably long foray into Dark Souls modding, and I may go back. You know, I said I would do Nameless King. I said I would do Nameless King with King of Storms as like a gank fight. I said I would do Nito when my brother and I had started doing this. We said we wanted to do all the armors, and then maybe not all the armors, but there's a lot of content that we could still make. But I don't know what we're going to do with that. Nonetheless, I hope people really enjoy this. I put so much time and I sacrificed a lot of things to get this one done, especially getting it out on January the 14th. 14th of January, sorry about that. So yeah, not to bore people with my things. So yeah, that's that. It's going to be live on Steam really soon after this. I'm going to be putting up the video. I'm going to be putting it onto Reddit. I hope people like this. I hope people play this. I hope to get some feedback on it. So yeah, I mean, if you want to play it, hit me up. It's going to be on Steam. Leave me a message. Let me know on Reddit. I mean, I need to play my content once in a while. Anyways, yeah, hope you enjoy it. Enjoy. I mean, there's not much else to say.